Established in 2004, Construction Research Institute of Malaysia, mostly known as CREAM, is a subsidiary of Construction Industry Development Board, or CIDB, that holds the responsibility over all matters related to the planning, implementation, and management of the research and development projects and related activities. With its mission to make CREAM globally recognized as the leading institute for research and development (R&D), and its vision to meet the strategic needs of R&D in the Malaysian construction industry, CREAM is committed to fulfilling its 5 objectives, that is, to fund, manage, and execute research activities and programs, offer tests and laboratory facilities for heavy structure engineering and building materials that focus on IBS structures and components, establish R&D cooperation with stakeholders in the domestic and overseas construction industry, earn funds and offer ventures for R&D activities and programs, and distribute the latest technology and R&D products to the national construction industry players through promotion, patent, and commercialization. CREAM serves as a key center that provides 3 main functions, namely research and development, testing of building materials and technical services, and assessment and certification. CREAM's main focus is the R&D program, which covers various fields. Its objective is to provide benefits to the progress of the nation's construction industry. The research themes cover 5 priority areas. They are the structural and material technology, asset and facility management, environmental sustainability, productivity. Quality of service has always been CREAM's core value. This is to ensure that the Malaysian construction industry's strategic R&D needs are met. CREAM also provides testing services for material and building structure samples at its laboratory, Makmal Kereta Raya Malaysia, or MKRM. The purpose of this testing service is to assess quality and safety, as well as to improve materials and construction samples to meet the standards set. CREAM also offers services and other technical aspects such as inspection and sampling of imported building materials entering the country's ports. CREAM will conduct forensic investigations on construction sites in the event of failures or accidents. CREAM is pleased to announce that the MKRM has been expanded to Sabah and Sarawak, and that it is now ready to assist industry players in Borneo with construction material and structural testing in accordance with CIDB Act 520. CREAM Certification Services, CCS, provides construction certification services primarily for building materials listed in the CIDB Act 520. CCS performs an audit on the materials used in the production of product certification to ensure that the materials listed in Act 520 meet the standards. CCS has gained recognition from the Malaysian Standards Department in August 2018. In 2021, CREAM was recognized as a Construction Assessment Center by CIDB. This recognition has enabled CREAM to evaluate and rate construction projects. The evaluation covers 4 areas: quality, QLASI; safety, chassis; green building, MICRES; infrastructure, sustainable Infrastar. CREAM is also responsible to carry out Certificate of Approval (COA), which is a certificate issued by CIDB to ensure that all imported construction products must meet the specified requirements of Malaysian Standard MS and other approved international standards. The issuance of the COA is in accordance with the Custom Act 235, 1967, Prohibition on Import, Amendment Number 2, Order 2014, to ensure the quality of imported construction products. To better serve the stakeholders in the national construction industry, CREAM established the Construction Industry Consulting Division, which focuses on industry networking and collaboration, as well as consulting services. The division aims to serve as a reference center and innovation hub for the Southeast Asian construction industry, ensuring economic and social responsibility in construction. CREAM is focused to be a leading-edge research institute for technology innovations in the construction industry, to act as a one-stop center for product inspection, testing, and certification services, to elevate safety, health, environment, and quality of the construction industry, to build partnerships with the industry stakeholders and researchers while exploring and encouraging the development of a knowledge-based industry.
Assalamualaikum. We're really sorry for the delay this morning. So let's hope the webinar will go smoothly this morning for everyone, inshallah. All right. Welcome to CREAM Webinar Series 2023. Thank you so much for spending your morning with us. My name is Intan Diana and I'll be your MC for today's webinar. For your information, CREAM Webinar Series 2023 is a program organized by Construction Research Institute of Malaysia, CREAM, and it is a part of our efforts to initiate conversation on issues, challenges, opportunities, and initiatives for the construction industry and beyond. And for this month's theme is emerging trends in asset and facilities management innovation. And today we'll be talking about the trends in asset and FM industry. Where are we now? Yeah, with three very experienced speakers in asset and FM. So before we get started, just a little housekeeping. If you have any questions during the presentation, you can drop your questions into the chat box and our moderator will bring them up during Q&A session at the end of the last presentations, okay? All right, so now without further ado, I would like to invite our moderator for today. She is Dr. Ifah Suzila Ibrahim, currently working as a researcher at Construction Research Institute of Malaysia, CREAM. Dr. Ifah Suzila received her Bachelor's Science in Real Asset Management with honours from University Tun Hussein Onn Malaysia, UTHM, Johor in 2009. She then received her Master's in Property and Facilities Management in 2010, also from UTHM. And she then completed her Doctorate of Philosophy or PhD in Facilities Management from Mara University of Technology, UITM, under the Faculty of Architecture, Planning and Surveying, and graduated in 2021. She is also a member in Malaysian Association of Facilities Management, MAFAM. Her research interests are currently in the areas of facility management, property management, performance management, construction management, and also industrialized building system, IBS. She was involved with the development of a module entitled Technology and Innovation in Facility Management, SMT 15103 in 2016 for Open University Malaysia and Facility Management module from CIDB. She is also involved in publishing a book entitled Facilities Management Initiatives and Empowerment for Construction Industry in Malaysia in 2021. and as well as CRDB Construction Law Report for edition 2019 and until 2021. So now I would like to welcome Dr. Ifa Suzila.
Okay, thank you, TS Intan Diana. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and every morning, good morning, everyone. Okay, my name is Ifa Suzila binti Ibrahim, and I am a researcher at CREAM. Okay, as we know, that the facilities management is a profession that encompasses a multidiscipline to ensure functionality of the built environment by integrating people, place, process, and technology. And so today we want to talk about the trends in asset and FM industry and where are we now. So today we have three speakers, which is TS Mazia Abu Hassan from Integrated Asset Management Branch, Jabatan Kerja Raya Malaysia. And second is TS Dr. Saharani Jaafar from Malaysian Association of Facilities Management, MAFM. And third, Surveyor Dr. Eliana Mieda Nikmat from Faculty of Built Environment, UM. Let me introduce our first speaker today, is TS Mazia Abu Hassan. He's a Superintendent Civil Engineer as Integrated Asset Management Branch Jabatan Kerja Raya Malaysia. TS Mazia Hassan is a civil engineer by trade and has a master degree in Asset and Facilities Management from UTM. He has served the Public Work Department Malaysia, PWD Malaysia, for almost 20 years. She is now attached to Asset Management Division in Public Works Department Malaysia since 2007 and has the opportunity of working with the government experts in the establishment of the government asset management policy and few others guidelines that is currently used by the government sector. Okay, I'm glad to welcome TS Mazia Abu Hassan to start the presentation today. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, let me just share the presentation. Okay. Okay, I lost the screen. Can anyone?
We can see your screen.
You can see, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, okay. So because I lost I should have two screens. Then I know where am I now. Okay, so let's start. Yeah. Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good morning to all the participants, the organizer, and fellow speakers. So welcome to the second session of the webinar, and we are going to talk about maybe a little bit of history of asset and facilities management in public sector, where we are now, and maybe the direction in which AFM is developing in the next few years. But first, I would like to thank the organizer, CREAM, CIDP, for extending an invitation to JKR to speak today. Okay, and thank you to TS Intan and also our moderator today, Dr. Ifa Suzila, for kind introduction. Yeah, so I will try to deliver. I think there's some hiccup earlier because of some technical issues with the presentation. So I hope I can share lah. I can share something and hope it's beneficial to all. Okay, so to start with, okay, our aim in public sector is to get the best that AFM can offer, and we want AFM to complement our current process in order to get the ROI and to increase our asset value. So far, AFM is used in strategic and also in operational level. So we hope to get the best of both worlds for the benefit of our stakeholders and also our users in general. Okay. First, okay. So with that being said, let us move to the content of the talk. I will divide it into 4 main sections, and the explanation will be shorter and lengthy accordingly. Okay. So I'm given 30 minutes, and I hope I can make use of the 30 minutes. Okay. So next one. Okay. Right.
PS Maza, are you here? Okay.
Oh, sorry, it looks like we lost her. Wait, let me connect back. Okay, really sorry. I just she's trying to join in. Just give us another about 2 to 3 minutes. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, sorry everyone, because we have some technical issue. So now we want to proceed with the third speaker, which is Surveyor Dr. Nick Elina Maida Nikmat from Faculty of Earth Environment, University Malaya. Surveyor Dr. Nick Eliana Maida Nikmat has completed her doctoral degree in Facilities Management from University College London in 2013 under the supervision of Professor Michael Pitt and Peter McLennan. Her doctoral thesis focused on developing the PERFM, a performance measurement framework that can be used to enhance FM service delivery. The research studies was evaluated by an expert professor in FM field, Professor Dilanti Amaratunga from University of Salford, United Kingdom. She has been awarded with Excellent Award 2014 for completing her doctoral program in less than 4 years. Prior to that, Eliana has obtained Master in Boarding, a Master by Research program at University of Malaya, where her thesis focused on the performance measurement of office buildings maintenance management. Eliana's first degree was Bachelor in Building Surveying from the very same department where they currently serve. Prior to joining academy, Eliana has served at Petroscience Sdn Bhd and later at Henry Bachar, Malaysia as building manager and assistant property manager. However, when being offered the SLAP or SLAI scholarship in 2007, Eliana has left the private industry to pursue her interest in research and academic. Eliana is currently a senior lecturer at the Department of Building Surveying, Faculty of Built Environment, where she teaches undergraduate Bachelor Building Surveying and postgraduate program, Master in Asset and Facilities Management. Her research interests and areas are performance measurement, facilities management, strategic facilities management, sustainable environment. Eliana also enjoys cooking and exploring child development studies. Eliana welcomes any future research, submission and collaboration within her research area. I would like to invite Dr. Sebaya, Dr. Ni Eliana Maida to start the presentation today.
Hello, Assalamualaikum, and a very good morning. So let me share my slide, okay? So give me a moment.
Doctor, you mute your speaker.
Okay, I just need to change the position of how it appears. 1 second. Is it better this way, or the photos appear a little bit too big, or is it better this way? Is it better this way?
Okay, this way.
All right.
Okay,
Okay.
this way. Sure.
Okay. So I think everyone can see the slide clearly. Is it okay now?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. All right. So thank you very much to CREAM for inviting me to be one of the speakers for today's session. Okay. So the topic for my particular talk would be on how FM has actually advanced in terms of transformation. So we'd like to look at how FM has actually gone through or evolved through transformation, adaptations and innovations. And we're going to look into a few case studies, especially related to the very recent pandemic cases. Okay, so just a brief one. Okay, so this is just some brief biography about myself. I am a member of RISM, Royal Institution of Surveyors Malaysia, a PhD in Facilities Management from University College London. And my master's was in building from University of Malaya, and also I am also a building surveyor by profession, and my first degree was in building surveying from University of Malaya. My expertise or areas of research and teaching would be in the field of asset and facilities management, as well as strategic and facilities management. Okay, at the moment I am the coordinator for Master of Facilities and Maintenance Management, Open Distance Learning. Okay. So these are my details, just in case if you need to reach me by email, or you can also go through our faculty website to look at our academic program and research projects. Okay, on the right side of my slide, these are the list of the research projects that I have been involved with, so you could have an idea of the field or the studies that we have done, in particularly the FM team at University Malaya. So I am currently involved with British Council Catalyst Grant, which looks into how we can actually how we can actually collaborate further and enhance the network between a few universities and industries, particularly looking at railway and seaport. Other than that, also actively involved with a publicly solicited grant by University of Fukui, Japan, where we looked into the function of public facilities as evacuation centers. Other than that, there were other studies on maintenance management, energy efficiency, and one is currently with Public Work Department, led by Professor Dr. Shahrul as well. Okay, right. Okay, so a brief understanding of what FM is, I suppose maybe all most speakers would give an overview of what FM is, but just for the participant to understand, FM mostly, as they quote it, revolve around four main components, which are people, process, place, and also technology. This is as quoted by Institute of Facilities Management Association back in 2010. Other scholars also always see FM as a profession that boosts or help organizations to actually enhance their business performance. These are some definitions given by four various international organizations which play important roles into the development of facilities management. As we can see, we have Royal Institution of Chartered Surveyors, we have IFMA, International Facility Management Association, we have IWFM, or previously known as BIFM, UK, and we also have FM Association from Australia. Okay, so generally, if you look at the definitions, they are quite similar. They basically emphasize on FM as a profession that integrates multidisciplinary activities, and the focus of FM is always into looking at how they can always support a business organizations, regardless of the nature of that business, whether hospitality, education, banking, retail. So the function of FM remains the same, which is to support the business function. So this is a brief snapshot of how we can look into the services of FM. We have hard FM and also soft FM and additional services. The categorization of hard and soft FM is based on RICS and also Institute of Workplace Facilities Management, IWFM UK. So hard FM mostly look into the fabric maintenance, the facade maintenance, air conditioning, M&E, decoration, lift, fire safety, plumbing, and other minor projects. Whereas soft FM looks into cleaning, recycling, security, pest control, some technical works, mostly not the major ones, the ground maintenance, waste disposal, and also, for example, internal plants maintenance. On the right side, you see additional services which can either be in both hard and soft FM depending on the complexity of the services, but always categorized as additional. So which maybe some companies may not fully utilize or maximize the function of these services, for example, space planning and sometimes energy management. Okay, so these are some list of additional services that we park under the FM. Right, so this chart briefly shows you how FM has actually evolved. Okay, so FM has first started in the West and has always established in the West. So starting from 1970s, United States basically has started FM and has started to form Facilities Management Association. But the first time they started FM, they started with construction industry. And at that time, they basically very much major on heavy engineering. Moving forwards about close to 20 years later, we can see the growth of FM in the UK and also in the Europe. So in this time around, the focus was also still in construction and also information technology or IT. Okay. Similarly, around that time, Japan has also initiated the development of FM, and they focus at that time on office environment. Okay, and then further on, we see the growth of FM in Hong Kong. The focus has slightly moved into space management, property management, energy, and also environmental management. Okay, Australia has also started cleaning, security, and maintenance as well. And over the years, Malaysia, Singapore, Korea has actually formed a much progressive evolution of FM in the Asia, especially. Okay, so if we talk about FM, there can be quite a variety of understanding and dimensions, basically. Even if you look at the word facility management or facilities management, you can actually differentiate that facilities management would very much refer to the school of thought of British. Okay, whereas facility, Facility without IES, refers to the American school of thought. So that is the major contrast of facilities management and facility management. Okay, so generally, the main school of thought of where FM has first been initiated and growth, basically. So we have American and also British. American looks into workplace efficiency. Remember that it has actually started with construction. Over the time, it has evolved, okay, transformed, and has been focused, very much focused into workplace efficiency. And the target is always on the physical workplace. That's for American. Whereas for British, they still see FM as a more integrated services that looks at many dimensions, and their focus is on core business and also employee support. Okay, so these are, if you look at it roughly, they can be quite similar. There can be some overlapping, but the focus are quite distinct. Okay, for American and also British. So this is some charts that shows the school of thought of American and also British. If you look at American school of thought, the definition goes into services, and there's a proper category on property management. Whereas for British, there's a one section that looks into information technology, and definition also goes into services and performance. British School of Thought also have a dedicated section for design construction, which is not being mentioned in American School of Thought, while American School of Thought looks into phases and processes like monitoring, repair, and also space management. So these are two main School of Thoughts, just for you to have an overview and understanding of. Okay, so moving on to Malaysia. Scenario of Malaysia, sometimes people get confused to isn't property managers same as building managers? How about maintenance managers? How about facility managers? How different are they? So what happened in industry in Malaysia is that property managers are very much well known as or understood as the people who manage the residential and commercial buildings. Okay, maintenance managers are the one that maintain and mostly take care of the in-house team. Okay, leading the in-house team. And we have facility managers who very much spearhead a more complex structure of facilities management, and not just limited to just in-house. Okay, and it could be both public and private buildings. Okay, but a mixture of technical and non-technical services. In Malaysia as well, we have two established associations that have a high interest in taking initiative and promote the field of asset and facilities management, which are Malaysian Association of Facilities Managers, or MAFM, MAFM, and also Malaysian Asset and Project Management Association, MAPMA, MAPMA. Okay, there's a brief introduction about these associations in a later slide. Right. So this spectrum is actually a spectrum of total asset management, which has been introduced in a guideline by Public Works Department or JKR. Not gonna brief in detail. Perhaps this is something that Technologies Maziah will actually explain. But if you look at this spectrum, basically, it shows us on the left side is where the current practice is, and moving forward, how can we evolve from the current practice to the new approach or a more innovative approach. Okay, so from current practice, we're going to move into breakdown maintenance, and then evolve into effective maintenance management, and then total facilities management and total asset management. If you look at the focus at the bottom part, breakdown maintenance is on very much to react to whatever difficulties or faults that we have. So it's a reactive approach. Okay, so you run or attend as it is or as requested. Effective maintenance approach have a slightly different approach where it is quite proactive. Okay, it looks into costing and budget. Total facilities management looks into customer focus and additional added value that we have on top of effective maintenance management. And the last one is total asset management, which is a much more whole cycle. And at this time around, they do not only looking at minimizing costs, but actually looks at the return of investment value. Okay, so if you are contractors and practitioners, you can look at this spectrum and see where is the position of your company. Are you moving forward from breakdown maintenance into effective maintenance management, total FM and total asset? Okay, so basically this is a whole spectrum that can be adopted by practitioners, right? So as we talk about Malaysian perspective as well, it is also important for you to understand the authorities and the agencies or the units that play important role in helping the FM industry to transform and grow. Okay, so we have, for example, Ministry of Works, and there's this dedicated FM division under Kementerian Kerja Raya or Ministry of Works, and the vision to always to be an effective leading maintenance regulatory agency. So if you talk about FM, the dedicated ministry and the direct ministry would be Ministry of Works. Okay, and under Ministry of Works there would be JKR, Public Works Department, which very much more focused on FM, apart from construction industry and many more. Okay, and we also have CIDP, Construction Industrial Development Board, and which also works together with CREAM. And at this time around, they look into FM contractors developing courses, look into how they can actually further help to accelerate the growth of FM in the industry. And previously, they have CITP, Construction Industry Transformation Program, 2016 to 2020. We also have NBOS, Malaysian National Development Strategy, and we also have MAFAM here. So these are some of many important agencies that plays a role in the FM industry in Malaysia. Okay, so these two main associations that I've mentioned previously was the focus of MAFAM is basically to, as mentioned here, to bridge academic and industry players and become a knowledge platform where they can actually share the more recent advancement in FM industry. MAPMA focused both on asset and project management, actually initiated by Public Works Department in 2008. Okay, so the focus comes together as asset and project. MAFAM very much on facility management. Of course, under facility management, they also focus on asset. Okay, I also would like to share some findings on a recent Malaysian perspective study by Zawawi et al. To 20 companies in Klang Valley. Okay, so this was done in 2014, but this was the one quite related to the topic of today's talk. Okay, so based on these findings, which consists of FM managers coming from real estate management 30% and 15% each from building surveying, construction, mechanical and FM. Okay, and 10% from mechanical and electrical, 10% from FM, 10% building services, and 5% others. Okay, so this study basically asked these contractors whether they have actually obtained a government contract for FM, or had never procured any government contract for FM. Okay, based on these findings, 65% of them have actually obtained government contract for FM, whereas there's still wanted, more than wanted basically. 35% of them had never procured government contract for FM. That was quite an interesting finding, knowing that there's still company who had never managed to procure government contract for FM. And based on this study as well, they asked whether building operation and FM is important. And of course, 100% of them agreed that building operation and maintenance is one of the vital expertise in FM. The study also asked the contractors to rate their core and non-core services, as you see in the table 1. Okay, so the core list range from core number 1 until 19. So the first ranked core business, core services is actually electrical, followed by cleaning, mechanical, and so on. Okay, as you can see, waste management or energy management, for example, they are ranked above 10th place. 12 for waste management, ICT 13, 15 for energy management. When we talk about non-core, the non-core one, they felt like waste management is of number 1 priority. Okay, as opposed to parking management and so on. So this is based on the evaluation of contractors, which I suppose would come from their experience dealing with users as well. Okay, so they will also ask on the procurement methods used by their companies, in-house and outsource. If they are to hire in-house companies, what will be the number 1 or the top ranked priorities? Okay, so they felt like electrical system would be the number 1 ranked priority if they are to appoint any in-house contractors, followed by mechanical, cleaning, and so on. Okay, outsource, they felt like the number 1 would have to be waste management as well. So waste management seems to be the number 1 priority for the non-core, and also the number 1 priority if they are to outsource it to other people. Okay, so some interesting findings that you should know based on a real study conducted by Zawawi et al. In 2014. Okay, so moving on, we're going to look into the FM rules and function, how FM actually help people, how under having both core and non-core services, how FM actually help to meet the requirement and performance of stakeholders or owners of the company. Okay, so this slide actually shows you the role of manager or facility managers, what are being expected of FM managers. If you are facility manager yourself, what could be expected of you? So mostly the clients would expect you to have good knowledge in most field. Okay, and ideally as well, facility managers should have good knowledge and skills from strategic, tactical, and operational levels, so that they can better handle not only service providers, clients, stakeholders, and also users. Okay, so when we talk about FM, just briefly for you to understand, we have tactical, operational, and strategic FM. So strategic is very much on the long term goal. Operational is very much on the medium term, and tactical is very much on the short term. Okay, so strategic, we are looking at the horizon of 10 to 20 years. When we talk about strategic, we are looking at how the company can actually survive for the next 10 to 20 years. What is our vision, and how can we further align our operation with our vision? Okay, so this is a very much long-term horizon strategies that they develop for strategic FM. The second one is tactical, which is the medium term, which could range from 5 to 7 years, okay, or 3 to 6 years, for example, depends on how the organization would like to set it, but a medium term. So it's something that the company feels they could achieve in 5 or 7 years time. Okay, so if they are to develop a information system, this should be ready, and this should actually help the building to perform. So it may take a while to embark on new technology, but this can be done in a medium term, which is 5 to 7 years. Okay, operational looks into 1 to 3 years. It's a very much a short-term outlook. What are we going to do this week? What are we going to do this month, this year, 2 years time, 3 years time? Okay, so for example, if your client have a goal to reduce the energy consumption by 30%, and the goal is to reduce 20% by second year. Okay, so that is something that you can put under operational FM strategies short term. And after maybe 5 years, they want to reduce it to 40%. So that could be in the medium term. And long term, they might be having something like they want to use a renewable energy source. So short, medium, and long term, depending on how the vision and strategies are. Okay, so 3 levels of FM. So if you map these 3 levels of FM, you can see how the functions or the goals and the concept are. So for example, strategic FM, the concept is very much strategic and integrative, very whole and complex, and very detailed. Okay, if you move on to tactical, you see that the concept is quite proactive because it's medium term. And if you look at operational, it's very much cost effective. It's about meeting the immediate goals, which is 1 to 3 years. So similarly, the approach on the terms of goals, you look at strategic FM, we want to look at how the company can increase our income in the 10 and 20 years. Okay, how can we sustain ourselves in 10 to 20 years? Okay, operational FM, 1 to 3 years, we just want to minimize the cost. Okay, so the goals are very distinct and very different. Okay, this chart also shows you how FM can support the business role in terms of the financial. How can we help to increase return of investment or return of asset? FM can also maximize customer support speed, for example, improve their satisfaction. In terms of the compliance, what are the regulatory compliance involved, especially related to safety and health, okay, in terms of building and employee safety as well. In terms of career development, how can FM help the organizations, particularly if they have in-house staff? How can we help to enhance the skill and give a satisfaction for the employees to actually enjoy when they do their work? Okay, in terms of business growth, how are we helping the industry in terms of supply chain? Okay, by the appointment of service providers. Also, of course, FM also looks into the efficient use of resources. Okay, what is the character of the building? Is the building actually best fit for solar panel installation, so that we can further maximize renewable energy and we can reduce our cost? Okay, we also look at the team. How many people do we have? How can we leverage or maximize the efficiency of our team, money, spaces, and so on? Okay, so this actually shows how FM can support the business support role. Okay, moving forward, I'd like to show you some example of FM and technology. Okay, in terms of transformation of FM, there are some example of how FM has actually been not manipulated, but actually has been leveraged to benefit the advancements of technology. Okay, so on one sector, which is the well-being of workplace. Okay, so people talk about Internet of Things and how information can always be stored in one place and can be extracted from several places and can be accessed at all time. So these are very much important when it comes to data management. Okay, so there was a case study by Step Jockey UK where they actually used the gamify concept. Okay, so develop a concept to increase the fitness of their participants. So they identify the hotspot between the buildings and then try to disrupt people typical journey of using lift and then promote the use of staircase. Okay, so what they need is to basically understand the layout of the building, the specification of the building. Okay, so based on this technology that's being implemented at the building, the findings show that 90% of the participants felt much healthier and prefer to use staircase rather than using lift now. So how technology has actually changed the behavior of people and has actually given more benefit to people and promote the well-being in the workplace. Okay. Second one is on ENGIE or Energy French Company. How by using technology, they actually install a wide range of building system and sensor where they are able to identify energy waste activities. What are the activities that has actually wasted a lot of energies, and therefore how can we tackle these activities and then make more energy saving? So the finding shows that by using this technology, they were able to make a great saving of at least 15%. And then they are also targeting to have more saving up to 46% after a few months of operation. Okay, so BIM also, building information modeling, is also being used as a digital solution where they can understand their building better. How can they fully utilize the ventilation, the opening, the facade that they have, and how can they also enhance the monitoring of the technical or non-technical issue of the building. Okay. The other one is how technology is being used in terms of optimizing space utilization. Okay, so there's a space utilization called Vantage Space. So by using this space, they were able, this people were able to calculate the efficiency of space. For example, they know that meeting room efficiency is 21.7%. Desk usage efficiency is 30.2%. Okay, so this app can help higher management to make more informed decision about their spaces, whether these are underutilized spaces, not occupied spaces, half occupied spaces, but air conditioning are being turned on at all time, and how can we further how can we improve the operation of these buildings, and how can we change the shift, or how can we monitor the use of aircon and so on. Okay, so by using this app, they also demonstrated that 25% of gap between the booking system and the actual usage of the building were detected, because sometimes people booked the room and did not use it, but the place was left vacant, and someone else was in the queue was not being made known that this space is actually available. Okay, so by using this technology, they were able to detect and actually make at least 1/4 saving, right? They were able to detect a 25% of gap. Another one is a technology being used by London-based tech company, okay, where they use a web-based IoT platform to track the resource and energy consumption, okay, and by having multiple information devices and system connected to one, they were able to analyze and visualize the energy consumption, and through this application they also were able to improve their efficiency. Okay, all right, another one is Chartfire and Security China, okay, in making sure that they can further enhance the security services, okay, technology through the installation of CCTV and a much more advanced coverage of security surveillance has actually support the monitoring surveillance of, in this case, is a school, right? So monitoring coverage was boosted without drastically increasing the number of cameras. So because the new system support automatic police assistance and facial recognition. So it's not just about installation of cameras, it's about using or leveraging the technology to better to have a much better surveillance at the place, right? Okay, moving on. Those are the cases of FM and technology. The next part of the talk I will actually explain to you some of the real scenario of FM and FM services during pandemic and what we can actually learn from these cases. Okay, so the first study was a study done to 290 small medium companies or SME in Malaysia. So we look into the FM adaptation at workplace. So based on literature being done, we asked them whether these elements were being emphasized or actually implemented at the workplace. Okay, so these are some of the adaptation at workplace. So the approach was to articulate organization vision, values, provide sustainable environment, prioritize individuals' well-being, reducing costs, unlock underutilized space, and drive high individual and team performance. So a survey was done to the 290 SMEs in Malaysia. So we asked them to rank the FM adaptations. Which one of these do you think are the most important? And do you think they are actually important FM adaptation being done during pandemic, for example? So according to the 290 SMEs, the number one ranked FM adaptation or approach at that time was merely first and foremost is to actually reduce cost, followed by unlock underutilized space and prioritize individuals' well-being. If you look at the score, these are the mean score, they are quite similar. And when they are 4 and above, they show that they are all very important. So 5 is very important. So they are more than important, basically between important and very important. Okay, so all these adaptations are signified as important by these participants or these companies. They felt like the companies have really taken adaptation on FM have taken various adaptations, and these are among the important FM adaptations. Okay, so they were also asked whether their companies implement this adaptation during pandemic, and majority of them, if you see on the blue ones, okay, so these meant yes, orange means no, green means not sure. There's quite number of not sure. So we asked whether they are aware that their organizations or their basically owners actually implement this approach, okay, or their bosses actually implement this approach. So but majority of them, more than 60% across all adaptation were actually implemented. Personality strategy, privacy principle, posture, space utilization, digitalization, work from home or flexible working arrangement, hygiene and safety and security, air quality strategy. Okay, oh sorry, there's a double one on this one. Okay, so they will also ask, do they face any challenges during pandemic? And these are some of the organizational challenges. Okay, agree. So green and blue means positive, that they agree. So majority of them agree that their organization face financial issues. They also felt like their companies can provide sufficient sanitation and cleaning method. They also agree that their organization can ensure the safety of their employees. They also agree that their organization face challenges in organizing and managing, and also challenges in leading and communicating. So communication, leadership, organizing, management, okay, these are some of the challenges that they face. Okay. However, they felt like the company did really well in terms of the safety and sanitation as well. But the major three challenges are financial challenge, organization, and also leadership and communication. Okay, individual challenges ranks. You can see rank and number. The first rank challenges would be low motivation in job. Okay, lack of resources to work. Performance and productivity is decreasing during pandemic. Okay, which is very much understood. Number 4, feel stress when working in workplace. Number 5, mental issues when working. And number 6 is uncomfortable working. So these are some of the these are the individual challenges as rated by the SME companies. Okay, right. Barriers, they will ask, what are the barriers that actually hinder you to further advance your company operations or business, for example? So they felt like the number one barrier would be the low digitalization, shortage of digital talent among employees. Okay, because some employees were not equipped with technology or digital skills to handle certain software, because sometimes only one or two dedicated people actually were tasked to handle certain software or application. And during pandemic, when people were actually sort of forced to use digitalization, these are some of the barriers that they face. Okay, number two, health. In terms of health, they were required to purchase or procure new equipment, measures and practice. Number three, government strategy. Somehow they felt like it's quite a barrier for them to follow through the compliance of principle of prevention, where you need to maintain a distance of 1 meter, 2 meters, right? So they felt like it's quite a barrier for them, for the companies. Number four, they need to design workplace to have a good indoor air quality. The place is how it is now. So how can they increase or enhance the ventilation of the building? Because ventilation is one of the things that is being prioritized during pandemic. If you are to operate again, you need to make sure that the ventilation is good, right? Five, government strategy. They felt like they faced some barriers in adopting due to the changing of guidelines or requirements, and also limitations during pandemic. Okay, number six, low digitalization, where they have financial issues which hamper digital growth. They sometimes cannot upgrade their server or have a more stable internet coverage. Some of the softwares are not suitable for remote access, for example. So this would require some financial investment, which they are lacked of at the moment. So that is one factor that they face. Another one, they felt like somehow the last one is that there's a low level of awareness among Malaysian organization in terms of digitalization. So these are some of the barriers that they face. So one, there are 7 barriers altogether. So you can look at the percentage of people who disagree, who strongly agree, who have neutral feeling, agree, and also strongly agree. Okay. So based on those studies, what we can conclude is that there are some recommendations that you can actually adopt. Okay, in terms of how you can, for example, prioritize individual well-being. You can look into the hygiene and cleanliness strategy, increase sustainability and well-being measures. Okay. How can you provide sustainable environment? You can prioritize on low energy consumption, utilize technology for monitoring. Okay, how can you articulate organization vision? You have to develop short, medium, and long-term strategies. High individual and team performance is also related to the privacy of people, the posture, the selection of furniture. Okay. And dedicating individual workspace is also voted as one ways to drive high individual and team performance. Okay. As for unlock underutilized space, how can you promote co-working, space management, and so on? Reducing cost, one way is quite a favored option now is to have work from home, WFH, or flexible working arrangement. Okay, so this can actually help company to unlock underutilized spaces, unoccupied spaces, and at the same time also to reduce costs. Okay, but the company has to look into how they can still increase the productivity of the workers by having this arrangement. Okay, so these are the challenges and barriers that we looked at just now in terms of organization, individual. These are the challenges that we can learn based on the pandemic, and how can we pick up from these mentioned challenges and barriers whether they are relevant to our companies, whether they are not relevant, and how can we prevent this from happening, for example. Okay. Right, another example is on flexible work arrangement alone, or FWA. We want to look at how business can innovate through FWA, okay, or flexible work arrangement. Okay, so when we talk about flexible work arrangement, this arrangement is still quite lagging before pandemic. Okay, starting from pandemic, okay, FWA has started to receive a lot of attention and being favored by companies. Okay, they felt like contractual or having work shift, job sharing, remote working, okay, or work from home as part of the FWA can actually make sure that the operation can still go on. Okay, so when we talk about FWA, is actually about work environment and schedule that is not restricted by traditional work, where you have to come 9 to 5, be at your desk, and can only leave the office by 5. So that is a traditional method, for example. So flexible work arrangement or FWA is different. Okay, you can work remotely, you can have a virtual meeting, and so on. So most companies may have a mixture of both now, flexible and
sorry to interrupt, Doctor. You have 5 minutes to wrap up.
Okay, sure.
Okay, thank you, Doctor.
Okay. Okay, so when we talk about FWA, it is actually a move that meets with that sync with SDG aspiration in terms of reducing consumption, sustainable consumption, and also build a more resilient infrastructure and remote inclusive community, for example. Okay. So this is just one diagram that shows how the space layout are actually being done at these case studies in terms of FWA. Okay, so we look at 3 case studies in Kuala Lumpur and how they actually implement FWA. So if you look at case study 1, case study 2, case study 3, they have 70 employees for this one, around the same 70 employees basically. There are also features of flexible features where they have open plan office for all the companies. They have work from home practice, they have remote working and flexible hours. So these are the arrangement and approach of these 3 case studies. Okay, comparison of flexible workspace element. Some of the companies, case study A1, have a lower wall cubicle, number 2, no cubicle, and number 3, lower wall cubicle. So a very interesting approach of flexible workspace arrangement. So which something that everyone can pick up from this talk today, I hope. Okay. Changes that they have made when it comes to flexible work arrangement during pandemic. They have actually tried to rearrange office spaces, relocate hot desk, design open plan for desk arrangement, and reconfigure the space. Okay, some challenges that they face, they had difficulties to assign and plot the floor space. So basically at that time they tried to work with staff work rotation basis. Okay, and they also have challenges where original workspace was left unused. So they changed the space function, rent it out so that they can still generate income and at the same time fully utilize the space. Okay, other initiative will like enhance the technology implementation, get a faster internet connection, and use data management so that everyone can still get access to the document even they are at home. Okay. All right, moving forward, I think this is the last one. All right, moving forward, based on the presentation today, I hope that participants can pick up the most important part of how FM plays an important role to the business, how we can use technology to fully utilize the benefit of FM, okay, how FM can help to enhance or maximize the efficiency of operation. And the lesson that we can learn from the pandemic cases that there were many transformations being done by the companies which actually benefit them. Although those transformations were actually a forced transformation because you were forced to be at home, you cannot move to the office, you cannot operate at that time. But FM is still agile where it can adopt transformation and can still move forward. So those are the examples where there's adoption of flexible work arrangement, okay, and also other adaptations that we mentioned just now. So although pandemic COVID-19 is not anymore a pandemic, but we can learn from this case as how company can adopt the concept should there be any disruptions to their business operation. Okay, so so basically just the final remark, we should understand that in a fiercely cost competitive marketplace, FM organizations are banking on automation and innovation. Innovation is one way for the industry to keep up with the ever expanding and demanding clients, and therefore to remain competitive in the industry. Okay, so with that, I thank you, and I hope that I've managed to cover the important parts related to the advancing transformations in FM. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Dr. And then Dr. Niana Menda for the great presentation today. And next, I would like to introduce for our second presenter for webinar today, which is TS Dr. Zaharani Jaafar from Malaysian Association of Facilities Management, MAFM. Dr. Zaharani bin Jaafar holds a Doctor of Philosophy, Facilities Management, as well as Master of Asset and Facilities Management, where he specializes in FM knowledge and skills, the FM competency model, the FM capability metric and ruler, and FM capability evaluation. He has over 20 years of experience in construction, property management, and facilities management. He is a director at SRS Knowledge Fusions Sdn Bhd. He is a registered property manager, certified facility management manager, CIDB, accredited trainer HRD Corporation, certified professional trainer CPT MIM, certified coach CPC MIM, certified facilitator Finance Finland, and a registered assessor and trainer for the CIDB Facilities Management Certification Program. He is a part-time lecturer at UTM Space, KL, for the Professional Masters in Facilities Management Program, and a trainer for CIDB Certification Program at MS1 Global Resources Sdn Bhd. He is the Malaysian Association of Facilities Management, AFM, Assistant Secretary from 2022 until 2023, and a member of the Malaysian Institute of Property and Facilities Managers, MIP, FM, Malaysian Institute of Management, MIM, and Malaysian Association of Facilitators, MAFA. I'm glad to welcome the Dr. Zaharani Jaafar as a second presenter today. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam, Doktor.
Okey, sekejap ya, saya set ya.
Yeah.
Okey, boleh dengar Nampak?
Okey, boleh Doktor.
Okey. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good morning. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So this morning I will do my sharing on the digital people and workplace factors that drive asset and facilities management trends. Dengar dengan jelas Okay, my presentation will be divided into two sections. The first section, I will focus on the fundamentals concept of the asset and facilities management. And the second section, I will focus on the asset and facilities management and trends. Okay, let me start with the first section of my presentations on the fundamentals of the asset and facilities management concept. Okay, in general, so all organizations they use asset, building, and services to achieve their primary and support business objective. Most organizations divide their business activity between core and support process. The primary they call core, and the support is a non-core process. So core activities, generally we are referred to the strategic tasks that improve the asset value. They focus on and drive profits, and also known as a profit center. Some organizations, they are quite familiar with this term, profit center. So when we conduct the risk analysis for core activities, normally we can get the risk assessment is moderate to high. Why is high? Because it's, most of the activity has a direct impact to the core business. Objective is to maximize the profit for organizations. And also, if we do the functional analysis, the core activities, they are focused on the service availability, because this is very important. Service must be available all time to ensure that it's not interrupted their services to their customers. So for non-core activities, it's about a day-to-day routine task to support the core activity. Normally, the non-core activities, they are focused on cost optimization and saving, also known as a cost center. So if we conduct risk analysis on the non-core activities, so normally the result is more to moderate to low, because it's not direct impact to the core business objective, and also their functionality is more to people-centric activities. Okay, this differentiate the differences between the core and non-core activity. And then the next slide, I will share with you the relationship between core and non-core business activity in the organization. I will use the illustrations that help you actually to have a better picture the relationship. The successful organization will strive for a fine balance between core and non-core functions. In a current practice, the managed organization management will develop business strategy, innovations, strategy, capital for the finance, and also asset for the core business. So they will also develop the strategy for non-core business, including IT infrastructure for both sectors. Organizations also facing few challenges in running their business, such as high expectation to their product and services, and market competition on the pricing, and also the management's responsibility to ensure the high return to the investment. So the main objective for the core business is to maximize the profit and also to ensure high return on the investment. However, to maximize the profit, organization will also involve the non-core activities by optimizing the operation costs or implementing cost-saving initiative in their operation activities. Normally, the cost saving is in non-core activities. The organization need to involve the service providers to maximize the core activities profit. So the organization need to involve the service providers also. Some management take decisions to outsource the non-core business to the third party and focusing on core business activity. This move actually is one of the significant factors that FM exists in the industry. So what is the main objective of the facilities management? Among the objective of facilities management is to have a best value for money from their investment, and also to increase the customer experience, then also to have a effective and efficiency of operational, and also to continue improvement in their product and also services. So business activity actually related to the core business need a comprehensive asset management program. So asset management is a strategic management towards preservation of asset value throughout the life cycles. It is start with the business asset need analysis, designing and construction. At the second stage is handing over or taking over, and also the commissioning of the asset. The third stage is the operation and maintenance activity. This operation and maintenance activity in the asset analysis is about the operation and maintenance for asset for core business activity. That is has a direct impact to the business profit. Some of us refer this stage as a FM. Actually, it's not about FM. It's about the operation and maintenance of asset of a core business activity that has direct impact to the business profit. And the last stage here is demolition. Meanwhile, FM is the activity within the secondary process of an organization to improve the quality of the core business activity. Facilities life cycle start with a strategic analysis by defining the facility requirement and developing a business case. The second stage is the acquisition of the facilities. It can be you develop a new facilities, or you can lease for the third party. So the third stage is operation and maintenance. This operation and maintenance activity in facilities lifecycle management is about the operation and maintenance of asset for non-core activity or the secondary business activity that has indirect impact to the business profit. Is have a indirect impact to the business profit. So the last stage is disposals. We can normally the facilities manager will propose to upgrade or maybe dispose the facilities and develop a new strategy to acquire a new facilities. So I will do some presentation or to differentiate between asset management and facilities management. Actually, we can learn from this discipline to excel in our business. In general concept, first, asset management is a systematic process of coordinating a company, financial risk, operation, and other assets to increase the value of the assets. So, asset management general concept is focused on the to increase the value of the assets. Meanwhile, facility management is about organization functions that integrate people, place, and process. So the objective for the general concept of facilities management is to improve the quality of life of people and the productivity of core business, to support the core business. So asset management objective is coordinating activities to realize value from the asset. So the main objective of asset management is to maximize our return on the asset and asset utilizations. Meanwhile, facilities management objective is focused on continuous and cost-effective supply work environment with objective to improve productivity and effectiveness of the primary business. So facilities management is creating an optimal work environment. In terms of business strategy, asset management is aligning business strategy towards a preservation of asset value, focus on achieving investor profitable objective, maximize the capital expenditure, Meanwhile, facility management business strategy is aligned with strategy to the core business productivity and workplace management. Is focused on the end user workplace needs and demands. And the scope of services in asset management is all asset in organization. It's a asset to run the core business and also asset for non-core business activity. Meanwhile, facilities management is core services is cover all building facilities infrastructure with support the core business. It's managing the non-core business asset. Facilities management is managing non-core business asset. So there's a responsibility for asset manager. Asset management is normally done by asset manager. For the facilities management is role responsibility is covered by facilities management manager. So these are the differences between asset management and facilities management discipline. We can learn a lot from these differences to excel in our business activities. So I will continue my discussions, my sharing today in second part is a focus on the future of asset and facilities management. That's the industry. The trend we need to watch for next couple of years. The industry and market are changing over the time, so the business will need to also change itself over the time. So why do we or you need to follow trends around your business? So there's many answers for these questions. Among that, this is in a fast changing business. One of the best things that organization can do is to keep up with the industry trends. There are some reasons why it will benefit organizations. One is when we follow trend, we become a leader, not a follower. Actually, following trends and implementing in organization can make you a leader, not a follower. Maybe in the future, your business will be trend makers. Leaders are those that create a market condition. That is important for your organization to be one step ahead of the other organizations or the competitors. Follow trend also make us a better forecasting. Forecasting is actually is an everyday job. If your organization understands trends, the prediction will be better and easier. If you look at your historical data, you can easily see some trends. If you see them and combine this knowledge with other environmental factors, you will know that what is happening now. Also, you will quickly predict what is expected to happen tomorrow. Follow trend also make you staying competitive. By staying current with the industry trend, you can stay informed about the latest best practice in your field. These can include new methodology, process, and technology that are being used to improve efficiency, productivity, and quality. Actually, by staying up to date with the best practices, you can position your organization to stay competitive in this industry. Follow trend also enable you to stay ahead of disruptions. Businesses are now embracing digital transformations. Digital survey conducted found that 60% of the professionals expect that artificial intelligence to have a biggest impact on their organization in next few years. The challenge for organization remain the speed of technology transformations. So follow trend also enable you to develop skill set and allocate resources. Keeping up with the industry trends will provide you an opportunity for contractors, for you to continuous learning by staying informed about the latest development. We can identify areas that need to develop new skill and take steps to allocate your resources to improve employee knowledge and expertise. Okay. The current economic situation provide challenges and opportunities for asset and facilities management industry. Here are some priorities how asset and facilities management trends been practicing. First is best value for money. Shareholder will be looking to reduce costs and gain cost certainty. This will manifest in an asset and facilities management contract that focus on the value for money and partnership, including longer term fixed price contract that offset the effect of the current economy now, or the effect of the inflation. Second is managing risk. The outcome of the current economic situation will drive a company to use asset and facilities management organization atau facilities management service provider to reduce risk and improve operation efficiency. Business continuity planning will be more focused with a greater attention on the building a robust supply chain. There will be a rise in the building and asset automation, the Internet of Things, IoT, and also a more pronounced migrations from planned maintenance schedules to the condition-based maintenance. Client also look to reduce costs and have better anticipations on the asset life cycles and associated capital planning requirements. Third is carbon emissions, sustainability and carbon emissions reduction plan will remain high on the asset and facilities management agenda. Fourth is collaboration and partnerships. The current economic situation leads to innovations when new ways of working become a necessity. Therefore, they will see a rise in the collaborations and partnership to create shared value in the asset and facilities management industry. The fifth element is people developments. Clients are looking a trusted advisor to share best practices and benchmark against industry peers before making a major decision. Asset and facilities organization needs to develop the skills to match the changing business requirement with data literacy is one of the most important themes in the asset and facilities management industry. Okay, digitalization continue to change and disrupt the worlds of asset and facilities management. So sensors, big data, big analytical, we are key component in digitalization. Data will be a central asset, and facilities management trend will firmly focus on improving data quality to support decision making. So sensor technology will continue to deploy to create a smart building and more commercial workplace. Advanced technology also and real-time data analytics are helping asset and facilities management organization making sound and real-time decision. It also actually make processes such as vetting and onboard suppliers quicker and more easier. To compete in today's competitive marketplace, it is critical for asset and facilities management people to have access to an accurate and holistic view of operations. As technology constantly evolving, So data analytic solution also evolve. As AI evolve, data analytic solution are also changing and become more sophisticated. Okay, the earliest data analytics solution is a descriptive analysis. It's usually the first step in analyzing a data by examining a data often stored in the data warehouse, then summarize and highlighting trends in historical trends. So descriptive analysis try to answer the question of what happened. Normally maintenance, financials, and other business reports are more the examples of descriptive analysis. The second levels of that analytic solution is diagnostic analysis. Diagnostic analytic is examining the causes of those trends, helping asset and facilities organization understand why they occurred. For example, if the latest report show a better than average, the organization can drill down into internal data to see where the specific activities were responsible for the increase. The third levels of data solution is predictive analysis. Predictive analysis is the ability to accurately forecast and predict what could happen moving forward. Look at how a trend might unfold in the future and their potential impacts. The current perspective analytics, the current data analytic solution is known as prescriptive analytic. These are the latest data analytic solutions. It suggests that actions to respond to the future trends and improve business outcome. There are 4 levels now, the data solution. So the asset management company, they are more focused on the prescriptive analysis to ensure the reliability of their assets. Maintenance activity has also evolved a lot in the last 50 years. The tools, technology, process, and people who make up the industry have also changed. There are 4 stages in the evolution of maintenance. Start with the reactive maintenance. So continue with preventive maintenance. And the third level is a predictive. Since data analytics solution is at the prescriptive level, now maintenance also focus on the prescriptive maintenance. Mission help us to decide to avoid predictive failures. These are the latest type of maintenance in asset and facilities management. So I want to share with you the videos how big data analytic, IoT and big data analytic been used in the asset and facilities management.
You cannot see video. Doktor kita tak nampak videonya. Hanya dengan suara sahaja. Okay. Thank you, Doktor.
The ISS Group headquarters in Copenhagen is one of the most workplace-efficient buildings in the world. Also, it is very energy efficient, It serves as a living laboratory when it comes to integrating technology with service design. And when ISS improves the customer experience, the whole touch point with the customer is in scope, not just the service itself. An intelligent use of technology can personalize and increase the workplace experience. When a guest arrives, his phone will direct him to a charging stand if he drives a hybrid car. He will be met with his favorite coffee when he enters the reception. His host will automatically know where her guest is located. The interactive cameras will collect data during the day, sending messages to meeting rooms, catering team, and service staff. This is all about creating a seamless flow in the service setup with no wasted time, no waiting for conference rooms, no handling of technical meeting systems, because a pleasant stay is also a productive stay. Invisible for guests and employees are the amount of data collected by sensors around the building. Why clean a floor that doesn't need to be cleaned? This small example illustrates perfectly how ISS is changing from service by schedule to service on demand. Every large company knows this paradox. Studies show that on average, more than 50% of all desks and offices are available at a given point. And at the same time, employees run around in despair trying to find meeting or conference rooms. With the help of interactive technology, you can free up capacity, creating attractive environments and improving employee satisfaction through service quality. Today, meeting rooms and facilities can use voice recognition in order to take personalization of services one step further. And by applying IoT technology, you can also use live translation of other languages directly in meetings. That creates free time for what's important. Already today, the meeting room has become cognitive and can inform the hospitality staff that it needs to be serviced so the next meeting can begin without delays. No downtime, no waiting means a more efficient day for you as customer. All the sensors around the building are constantly collecting personal data to improve the service flow. How many employees are heading for lunch right now? Does a guest suffer from food allergies or deficiencies? Will the coffee machine stand the pressure? Maybe some of your employees need another temperature at their workstation different from the colleague sitting next to her. Or someone needs to find an empty desk. All these thousands of data points make it possible to control the climate and the environment in the building, making it a more pleasant and productive working day for the employees. And when the working day draws to an end, life goes on. Maybe your employees need dry cleaning, the car needs to be washed, or the family back home requires a takeaway dinner that day. This is what this journey is all about. Service on demand, seamless communication, and intelligent technology optimizes workplaces all over the world, increasing the level of customer experience. And effective workplaces saves energy and contributes to a greener world.
Okay, what are the key takeaways from this video? So first is the intelligent use of the technology. Technology can personalize and also improve the workplace experience. Second is a sensor that collecting data, creating a seamless flow, so no waste to time. Third is technology change concept of service by schedule to service by demand. So they are now the services industry. They are changed from models of service by schedules that be implemented last 20 to 30 years ago to the service by demand, since technology been supporting them in improving their services. Fourth is by using the technology or sensors, facilities are become more connective. No downtime, no delays. And also the fifth takeaway is seamless connections, intelligent technology, optimize the workplace by increasing the levels of customer experience, and also create the effective workplace that save energy and able to contribute to the greener world. These are among the takeaways from this video. From the video. Okay, the other factors in digitalization is a smart building. Smart building is aimed to achieve increased efficiency and operational reliability while reducing carbon emissions and lowering costs through the implementation of the connecting building automation, IoT, and data analytics solution. Facilities management organization will continue to become more digitized with a fine balance between human experience and digital experience for the end users. The third factors in digitalization is mobile technology, robotic, and drones. Mobile technology is a portable two-way communications device, commuting device, and the networking technology that connect them, allowing the FM team to work flexibility. The mobile technology allow the FM team to work flexibility and remotely, and also to reduce costs, improving the productivity and the service level, to deliver far-reaching operational improvement, and also supporting the strategic decision making. So the use of robot and drone is not new in asset and facilities management industry. Asset manager and also facility manager work alongside a skilled human workers, making their job easier and efficient. So mobile technology, robotic, drones, working alongside with the skilled human workers, making their job more easier and efficient. There will be a rise in the use of robotic and mobile technology, drone, to connect engineers and technicians remotely to support business connectivity. The fourth component in the digitalization is the workplace management and hybrid works. With the startup moving to the co-working space and remote work, to larger companies offering hybrid work options, flexible work models are becoming more popular. The push towards hybrid work has demonstrated significant benefit for organizations and individuals, employees, such as better work-life balance and cost saving. As a result of the economic challenge, we will generally see more resilience on cloud technologies and intelligent platforms that drive cost efficiency, resilience, and scalability. Attracting, developing, and retaining top talent in asset facilities management, demanding new thinking and innovative. The roles of asset and facility manager need to be evolved. Keeping asset and building operation running smoothly is crucial to asset and facilities management industry. This need higher expectations on the roles of asset and facilities management team. This increase in demands for asset and facilities management organization to implement a world-class training and also robust recruiting strategy. Attracting, retaining, and upskilling talent is also challenging to attract new talent to involve in asset and facilities management industry. So by designing the developing younger talents to booster the future workforce in asset and facilities management industry, training and upskilling will become a competitive advantage for asset and facilities management organization. The asset and facility industry needs to evolve to continue attracting and retaining diverse talents and to drive experience for clients. Asset and facilities management organization also will play a bigger role in connecting the workplace and improving the employee experience by focusing on diversity in the recruitments and in supply chains. Asset and facilities management organizations can be strong driver for the cultural transformations and increasing diversity at the workplace. Management of the workplace will require continued agility as asset and facility organizations strive to provide a flexible work setup for a workforce. We will see organizations realize that hybrid working mode able to contribute in managing carbon footprint by considering emissions across a dispersed workforce. Okay, workplace environment play also a major role in the performance quality of the users and employee. The office space and workplace that have wellness space will actually attract Gen Y and Z to the asset and facilities industry. The challenges for asset and facilities management to meet, these are the challenge for asset and facilities management organization to meet the demand for better workplace experience. The needs also to attract and retain top talent in the asset and facilities management industry. There will be a push and a pull between workplace experience and the need to reduce the facilities cost. Most organizations will under pressure to spend less but continue to deliver an outstanding employee experience. As a result, actually there will be more investment in the physical office space, with some organizations looking to reduce their overall real estate portfolio and others aiming to more deliberate in other facilities investments. There will be a greater needs from employee to have a visibility of the environment, social and governance or ESG initiative by the organization. The company that have ESG initiative will improve talent retentions by increasing sense of organization purpose, belonging, and also communities. Asset and facilities management industry will give a high priority on energy efficiency and reducing energy consumptions to reduce the carbon footprint. Building actually contribute, the research being conducted that building contribute about 40% of the global carbon emission via cooling and lighting facilities, while the high cost of energy, with the high cost of energy, organization will search for environment sound methods for cooling buildings. And asset and facilities organizations are now actually moving forwards with decarbonization strategy to support sustainability development goals ataupun SDG. So before I end my presentation, let me share you the key takeaway from these presentations. First is asset management is focusing on achieving maximum return on the asset, while facilities management focus on creating an optional work environments and end users workplace needs and demands. So digital, people and workplace factors currently drive asset and facilities management trends in the current economy scenario now. So I will end my presentation, give back to the moderators. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, Waalaikumsalam, Dr. TS Dr. Saharani Jaafar. Okay, next presentation by TS Mazid Abu Hassan, So I would like to welcome back DS Mazia Abu Hassan to present as a third presenter today.
Okay. Okay, give me a minute. Just switch. Okay, I've shared the slide. Dr. Ifa, can you see?
Can.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
it's clear.
All right. So let's move to the the slide. Next slide. Okay. Pardon?
Doktor, boleh doktor besarkan slide ni tak? Sorry Puan, besarkan I mean sebab dia nampak separuh.
Done.
Maybe tekan dekat dia punya icon.
This one?
Okay.
Okay.
Dah hilang.
Hilang. Okay, wait.
Okay.
This one?
Sekejap belum lagi.
You should press the slideshow, right?
Slideshow, betul.
Okay. I'm pressing the slideshow.
Share slideshow. Share screen. Share screen.
Share screen. Okay, wait. Opening. This one. Okay, so I'm clicking the slideshow. Hilang.
Okay, clear.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right.
Boleh?
Okay. All right. First of all, I'm so sorry. I apologize for the technical disruption just now. So let's start back. Okay. First thing, I think I would like to tell Dr. Saha that I wish I'm working in ISS building lah. But let's get thing real and back to reality. So I'm pulling everyone back to the current situation. So I'm representing government and public sector, and yeah, as we know, government or JKR, we are everyone knows JKR, what we do in general, and we have been here almost 151 years with experience and construction and maintenance. So we are one of the technical departments lah in government, and everyone knows we build and maintain federal roads, hospitals, schools, and other public infrastructure. So maybe a little bit of history. Yeah, years ago, asset and facilities management is actually unheard of in public sector. Maybe in private sector or in university, there are some courses already in place, but in public sector we only have exposure to asset and facilities management around maybe 2007. So we are exposed due to some issues of maintenance and disruptive effect lah, actually on one of our asset in Putrajaya. So soon after that, JKR was actually directed to find ways to efficiently collect, manage and maintain our government current asset information. Actually to better plan and manage lah, because at that time we cannot get any data from one central department, because data is everywhere. Yeah. So since then, JKR has expanded its function from just being involved in the development into asset and facility management consultancy and services. So establishment of asset and facility management in public sector is ongoing. Is ongoing journey. Yeah, we have made a lot of progress, I would say, but not as what we expected to get. Maybe the ISS building soon, but we are making some progress. So one thing for sure, JKR is also the Secretariat and Technical Agency appointed by Government Asset Management Committee. Maybe we know, some of us may know, it's called JPAK, JPAK, and we have made significant changes to the AFM landscape in public sector. So it was done with some help. I think there are some of us here been helping the government with some policies development, and also the GP guidelines. So we have some help from our agencies and other agencies, from GLCs, also from industry professional, academic institution, and many from public at large as our user. So I believe everyone who has a copy of our manuals might recognize this diagram. So this diagram is actually, we use this as our mind map, to determine our course of action and strategy. The diagram, as you can see, it shows the responsibility in a smaller circle there. Okay, the domain, our work progress, process. Okay, what at stake in terms of knowledge requirement, such as demand management, performance management, and the goal we want to achieve in implementing the AFM, which is in the center. This is what we call value of an asset. So in public sector, AFM is considered the missing link that connect the previous practice in public facilities development project. Previously asset were developed without proper planning for us, for its maintenance requirement. So the maintenance is always a firefighting. Most of the time. So asset will go through the re-evaluation of its functionality when there are needs only, maybe for upgrading, or rebuilding. So we are also facing some issues related to data management for our asset, especially when the asset is older than maybe 20 years of age. But with AFM, when we implemented AFM, we started to plan our asset, our buildings, roads, and infrastructure according to its whole life cycle and the cost of owning until retirement. Previously, we only focus on the development phase, but now we include the planning, development until the retirement phase. So the four main section in the diagram shows JKR interact with the owner. So from this diagram, you can see how we interact as in the process flow. So we are actually pretty much involved with the whole life cycle, but it depends lah. It's directly or indirectly. It depends on which phase we are consulted. So as you can see here, there are three domains that is under JKR responsibility: asset management, facilities management, and also maintenance management. So this is our core business in JKR. So and for each domain, we found several issues, and that includes the need for guidelines, lack of competency in AFM among our staff, current procurement process that needs improvement for AFM, budget preparation, planning and execution process that is not suitable for AFM. It's more for the development project. Asset and non-asset solution guide. So there's no solution guide for decision making. Okay, non-asset solution has never been any option previously. And lastly is data management collection. We have some issues on collection, storage and analysis of data for decision making. So after we realize that this is our limitation, that we have limited knowledgeable manpower, we don't have the access to local guides and standards, we don't have the governance. So there is no governance in the our ministries, yeah, as the asset owner, and we have no readiness. Our stakeholder and our users, yeah, they're not ready for AFM. So those are things that we need to address, yeah. So what we do is we formulated actually 4 main strategies for asset and facility management, which is developing the asset policy. We need to empower our staff, our users, and we need to recruit some people, because as of now we don't have enough people to cater for maintaining the process, the work process. And we need the process re-engineering, because what we have now are more tailored to development and not the FM. And of course, we need to upscale our technology. Okay. So I would like to assume that everyone who's joining us today knows that government asset policy was developed in 2009. Yeah, I think most of us have a copy of it downloaded from our website. So the government asset policy that we have a copy of is actually the reason we are here today discussing about this topic. Without the policy, I don't think we have any experience in AFM. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk a bit of the achievement, the journey. We've talked about the history, and now we talk about the achievement or the changes that we have made throughout the years. Yeah. So in the next few slides, I will share what we have been doing and where we are now. Maybe it's not what we expect, but we are doing our best, yeah, to implement the best practice in AFM. Yeah. So we have talked about the government asset policy, and to ensure that the policy succeeded, some adjustment to current practice was needed. So one thing in particular is the changes made to government cash accounting practices. So everyone knows in asset management, we cannot use cash accounting. So the first thing that we try to change, or we try to adopt is converting the cash accounting into what do you call that? The accrual accounting. Okay, so to accrual accounting is better used to properly monitor the immovable asset spending compared to cash accounting. So it was done not by JKR but by MOF. But as the committee member, JKR has helped give some ideas on what we need when we practice AFM. So another initiative related to strategic level is the input of AFM and maintenance during the value management lab. So we have a value management lab before we embark on the project, before even the project gets approved. So in the lab, before this, there's no representative from asset management, and now we have some. Maybe few of us will give some advice to the participant, to the moderator, or also the client, the initiative that they should take in order for them to really apply AFM. Okay, so in the lab, we normally give option to asset owner to consider non-asset solution rather than opt to build a new one. Yeah. So, but if let's say the owner still think that the building or the asset still need to be built, we will advise the owner into new ways of using spaces. Yeah, we provide information on the benefit of shared workstation, maybe designing a multifunctional spaces instead of only one, using more sustainable material, or maybe adopting design for maintainability. Okay, so this is the big issue because previously every asset that was constructed have some sort of maintenance issue due to the design. The design was not catered for maintainability. Okay, so another thing is for them to actually look into whether they can reduce the maintenance cost over the life cycle of an asset. Sometimes we also we'll also share some maybe designing concept that can give some conducive environment to the user, like Dr. Saha said just now. But those things are all new to the client. It's all new. Because government have our own guideline for build up. We have that, so it's not as easy as maybe changing that over maybe few months. It needs some discussion, some studies, whether they can apply the maybe open space concept and something similar. But we will do our best to give input and hope that one day our suggestion will be taken into consideration by the client and also maybe the central agency. Okay, so JKR, for your information, has our own QMS. We are a ISO organization since 1999. We have 5 systems currently running concurrently. We have yet to adopt ISO 55000 and 45000, but we have extended our QMS procedure to include the asset management activities. Okay, so even though we don't have our ISO 55000, but we have included the activities in our current quality management system. So I think so far we have reviewed the process 3 times as part of continuous improvement when we receive some feedback from our staff who's using it on daily basis. So now maybe I can share a bit on the achievement of in people development. So when we start our AFM journey, we know that we have limited resources in terms of manpower that can drive the AFM in JKR, as well as in ministries, in the asset owners office. So we have maybe limited, or maybe no one can give some input on AFM. So therefore, among the first step that we took was to outline AFM governance, for asset owner, so that enough personnel will be placed to help coordinate their assets. So it's up to them whether they wanted to reorganize, or maybe they want to employ a new staff. So but on JKR ourselves, we have established new posts for current and new recruit in 2007. So we have some additional staffing just to cater for AFM. Around the same time, we also did a collaboration with UTM for our in-house master's degree for a number of staff. So this staff was later placed in various offices and holding posts related to AFM as consultant and coordinators for AFM program. And we also have we have our in-house accreditation program. I think like 3 years ago, and that is the platform for us to manage the level of competency lah, and awareness of our staff in AFM. So now that we have enough manpower to start the FM, so we need some sort of reference in terms of standard documents that everyone who's involved in project planning previously, development, or maybe in evaluation stages, until the retirement of the asset knows what to do, because that is the main concern, because they don't have any reference, so they fall back to us and ask us where is the guideline that they can follow, so that AFM can be implemented in ministries level, or in states level. So the initial part of AFM transformation in government actually spent in development of guidelines, standards and reference. So we develop a few levels of documents by phases, and also as and when it is required, from 2007 until now. So we haven't finished the producing or developing our guidelines. So maybe the most the most known guideline is TIPATA. We call it TIPATA. It's a black book, and everyone use it for reference, and also maybe some using it for maybe studying the what we do in AFM in public sector. Some use it, like our client use it to actually implement their AFM in as an owner. So this document, it outline the process and procedure for every phase in life cycle, as we can see in the previous slide. Okay, so after TIPATA, there's a lower level of document we call guidelines, specification. We also have contract documents, but those documents are all based on process written in TIPATA. So okay, AFM, the work starts with asset owner planning for their activities, for their current and future asset. So they need to detail out the activities and costs for each phases, following the diagram in the slide. So the only thing is we have some hiccup in planning stage due to this requirement, because it's not easy to get all the asset data, because the biggest problem is we don't have any asset data. So in order for them to collect all the data, they need to have some manpower to go and collect it on the ground, at site. Then that is the biggest challenge, because not many of our clients have technical staff. So they must come back to JKR, and JKR have to do the data collection. So since 2009, 2012, so we've been doing this data collection, and it's not as we expected. It has so many problem, like maybe there's not enough manpower. So that is one of the thing. We don't have enough technical manpower, so that we sometimes have to source out. Maybe we ask for maybe the university and maybe some companies that can come in and do the asset or data collection for the assets. Okay, because you know why? Because previously the asset, once JKR completed the asset, it was given back to the hand over to the client. So client will have 100% responsibility on maintaining the asset. They can come back to JKR to do the maybe the corrective maintenance, but most of the time the data will be with them. So that is why one of the things that now we will be the one making sure that the process is followed from the planning until the disposal of an asset. So the data will be in one centralized department. Yeah. Just for the record, federal government owns a lot of buildings, a lot of premises. Yeah, in one premises there's a lot of buildings. So we have more than 30,000 premises all over the country. So and the age is maybe from 0 to 100 years. We have many historical buildings. So this is the magnitude of our problems, or our asset. So the detail of each component, the system, the subsystem, and its condition, it is still, many of them are still unknown, and the thing is being done progressively. It depends on the ministry. It depends on the money they have, because it is not planned. It's not planned in maybe in their budget, yeah, from year to year budget. So this is most of the time done if there's some surplus. Yeah. So technology again plays a vital role, especially in this era. Everybody is mentioning about how we should use the technology to make the asset and facility management work seamlessly with whatever business our business is. Yeah. So we know about machine learning, we know like wireless connection, remote monitoring, we know about 3D modeling, 3D construction, yeah, and many more. Okay, so however, we have limitation and constraint to adapt all the technology due to the cost. Yeah, but there are few technology, for example, maybe 3D modeling using BIM. Yeah, it's slowly making its way to our process. Yeah? In our process, there are some increase in BIM project year in. I mean, we have taken some project and we have applied the BIM, but it is still in infant stage. We're still using few of the project as our pilot project to see whether it's workable or not, due to maybe the cost, maybe the licensing, the knowledge, the competencies of our people, so on and so forth. So now let's move on to the FM. So we'll talk about AM. So now let's look at the FM and what improvement we have made. Maybe this several years. So the same strategies adapted for FM. So we established some sort of policy for FM. In this case, it's in the form of FM model. Okay, we have our government asset policy, and for the whole thing, I mean for the asset, but for FM we focus on the model for outsourcing model. If let's say like the government ministries maybe want to have to outsource their FM, so we have the model for them to follow. Yeah. So everyone knows government asset, yeah, has various shape and sizes. So we have many categories for our asset, from strategic asset to maybe public asset, from high security to public asset that being used by so many users, like roads, school, hospital. So we have two approaches in management of this asset. For building that are more complex, we use outsource, and for maybe smaller or non-complex asset, we do it in-house. Yeah. So first thing we do is identifying the few model of FM model for the approval of central agency, and the approval was actually based on the current restriction to other policies involving previous agreement by central agency. So we cannot force the central agency. We just submit the model. They determine which one suitable is more suitable according to some previous policy and rules and regulation. Yeah. So for outsourcing FM outsourcing contract, we had developed our COC together with other supporting documents such as technical spec and performance requirement that is being used since 2016. So maybe some of us here, the audience, maybe are from representative from contractors, so they've been using it, and we call it FMM 2016. Yeah. Excuse me. So with so many assets need to be managed through FMR outsourcing, government need to be vigilant of the service provider. So government has developed new categories of service provider that specialize in FM, so that we will get the required service by trusted contractor. Okay. So that was some of our initiative done throughout the years. So we have learned so many things, but we still have a lot to improve. We are aware that current trending in AFM involve more technology for efficiency and effectiveness of work process and activities. So we are actually trying our best to go with the flow. We have identified some which one can be digitized, can be digitalized. Yeah? So some maybe we can do that, but some we need some more studies because it may cost more money, and government has limited resources in terms of monetary. Yeah. Okay, so technology gives us flexibility, especially after COVID, where we need to work remotely. Depends on less physical and more of automated help. Of course, we cannot go back to paper-based system, and we accept that digitalization is the way forward. Yeah. So even though maybe we were seen as not going as fast as we should in digitalization, we have started it with some system, and we have implemented it at strategic, tactical, and operational level within JKR. The adoption of software application in planning, designing, monitoring, and disposal has improved the overall management of the process. Yeah, so we have digitized most of our documents and procedures, and we have it stored in our website, and many have can gain access. Some of the documents, digitized document, is free. Some of them you have to pay, but now it's accessible by many. We don't have to come to the library, or maybe come and buy the document or get the document from JKR. Okay, so we've been staying up to date with the latest technology. So like cloud-based storage, we have applied that. We have stored some in some of our FM contracts. We have our data stored in cloud-based. We know about IoT and AI, but as we know, transformation into that kind of technology will cost a lot of money. So we will, that will be in the next future, maybe 10 years, maybe someone from the department, 10 more years, they can share with you maybe the implementation in government. But as of now, that is not going to happen. It costs a lot. Yeah. So the digitization of data analysis, research, and information searching has reduced the time because of most of the document is in cloud or in the portal. Okay. So we also have implementation. We have implement the online procurement through platform like e-tender and the use of the government financial management accounting system, or we call IGF MAS, for payment processes. So it has been used. The system has been used, especially during COVID and post-COVID now. The development of CMMS dashboarding also, there's some work done and development for us to monitor the FM contractors' progress and performance, as well as exploring studies on BEAM FM. So we are actually trying to focus on continuous improvement and using as much as that technology in our work process as much as possible. We also have eComs. We call it eComs. It's a JKR repository system, provides cloud storage for digitized map. So we digitize our map now. It's not only in hard copy, it's also in digitized map, and as-built drawing, so digitized as-built drawing to enable easy access for staff and also maybe for our other users. We also have JPedia. It's an online platform for guidelines and procedure. It facilitates access to information without hard copies. Okay. Overall, JKR digitalization journey shows actually we are committed to leveraging technology to improve process, enhance our efficiency, and provide better service to clients and stakeholders. So the initiative certainly is being helpful in advancing AFM in public sector. Okay, so let's look. This is some of the application and where we use our technology. As we can see here, like I said, the application in JPAR, in JKR e-tender, CMMS, BEAM, eComs, JPedia, JCorp, and in data collection we have PWCIC, SPSB, and also the contract performance monitoring. So this is some of the documents that has been digitized and uploaded to the portals. Maybe if you're interested, I think it can be accessed freely in JPAR portal, but I'm not sure the address. Okay, if you are interested, maybe you can contact me later. So this is also the one that I mentioned before.
Sorry to interrupt, T.S. Mazia. You have a minute to wrap up. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Okay,
I'm almost in the last slide.
Okay.
All right. So this is our ISO 19001. So we have our KMS here. All the procedures can be downloaded from here. So our staff can easily access the process. This is our financial monitoring. We call it SPSB. So we use this monthly basis to monitor the spending in our operation and maintenance projects. This is our dashboarding for CMMS, where we monitor our contractors' performance based on their monthly KPIs. This is BEAM. We use for asset and facilities management. So this is still in the initial stage. Okay. So looking ahead, we are actually committed to further strengthening our AFM practices and adopting more innovative strategies. So the future of FM in the public sector, actually, yeah, we know it lies in encouraging greater collaboration and knowledge sharing among stakeholders and also our strategic partners. Yeah. So we believe engagement and partnership with industry experts will leverage the technology like IoT and AI for predictive maintenance and smart facility management. But as of now, we are still trying to get our hands on whatever that we can, so that we are not, we are still in the game. So we will try our best to strengthening our ICT network to support the big data and work hand in hand with the industry. So with that, I conclude my presentation. I hope it's beneficial, and I would like to thank CREAM again and all the attendees for this invaluable opportunity to share our journey in FM with everyone. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much to TS Mazia. Next, for the I would like to invite all the panelists to join the Q&A session. So anyone have a question can chat, can use our chat box. Okay, first question to TS Mazia. You mentioned just now, JKR also use BIM for FM. How does building information modeling impact facilities management in public properties?
Okay, so yes, we are trying to use the BIM for FM because we know BIM has the unlimited digital information and capabilities. It can enhance the management and maintenance of building for the whole life cycle. So we know that it can improve data information management. In the system itself, it can collaborate and communicate with the rest of the users, the designers, maybe the user, the facility manager. And from the BIM itself, from the system, we can get a lot of information like the history of maintenance. If you can use the LOD 500, there is capability for you to extract whatever that asset data from the construction stage or even design stage. Okay, so we can lessen the time actually for us to do the asset registration later. So if you use the BIM, it can be done, the asset registration can be done earlier when the designer identify what brand, the size, system, subsystem. So the asset manager or facility manager can have that data, can have the knowledge of that data, and we can update the data later, during the operation and maintenance phase. I think that is my answer.
Okay, and thank you, TS Mazia. Okay, our next question for TS Dr. Saharani. First question is, what CFMP is publicly used after completion for industry make as a reference?
Tak dengar.
Okay. Actually, FM is seen as operation and maintenance level. How about the strategic point of it?
Strategic?
Okay, FM is seen as a operation and maintenance level. How about the strategic point of it?
Oh,
Strategic.
Strategic.
okay. Okay, actually FM is not about at operation level. FM is functioning at 3 levels. FM functioning at strategic level, tactical level, and operational. So it's a functioning at 3 levels to support the core business. So at the strategic level, how FM functioning, like FM delivering the FM strategy. FM strategy to support the core business. Core business dia ada dia punya core business strategy. So FM come up with the FM strategy to support the core business. Example is a short-term, long-term planning of the facilities and how to achieve the customer punya expectation, the demand of the expectation, and also how to support the operational team. So FM is not about operation only. FM involved in 3 levels, in 3 stages, at the strategic, tactical, and operational.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Saharani. Next question for surveyor Dr. Ni Eliana. How important is the role of FM in helping organizations to grow sustainability?
Okay, sorry. I think when we talk about how FM can actually help in terms of help organizations to grow sustainably, the examples of the pandemic cases is one good example that we can learn from. How FM is agile and managed to adapt really fast, basically. If we remember, during pandemic season, we had restrictions to only bring certain number of people into the offices, right? And there's a requirement as well in terms of the space, how many people can accommodate certain areas. So be it a bank or a hospital or other organizations or schools, FM can be seen here in carrying a vital role in making sure that the school can still function, the bank can still run, and let the FM team help to handle these matters. If there is a certain requirement in terms of principle of prevention, then FM will do it accordingly. So in answering how can FM help organizations to grow sustainably, apart from those transformation to adapt to business disruptions, FM can also help in terms of making sure they can prolong the asset life cycle, plan their financial budget, align what the company wants with how FM or operation can support the aim or the mission of the organization. So it's roughly around that, yeah.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Ni Eliana. Okay, next question for TS Mazia. May I know what's the from Sharifah Nur Syakina binti Said Shabaha. She asked for TS Mazia, may I know what's the challenges in the current FM procurement process?
Okay, I'll try my best to answer this because normally the procurement is done by the QS. So I think maybe the challenges would be for us to identify the one that comes in, the one that participate in the tender process, the contractors that comes in, and whether they are really competent, because we have data, we have collected maybe the performance of each contractors, but still getting the best contractors for the premise, for the project is challenging, because maybe the every premises is unique, the clients, their needs and everything. It's so when we appoint one, when they maybe the through the process of the procurement process, so when we selected the contractor, it might not have the effect that we want. That may be the process is it's hard for us to identify the best for each for each premises lah, for the clients. But I can get maybe if you give me some the email, I can ask for maybe QS to help you out, maybe answer the question more in more detail.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Tes Mazia, for the answer. Okay, next question. Also to Tes Mazia. From Jeffrey Ishaq. Is there any form of master plan for JKR in which to digitize all the assets for data recording, as well as to repurpose all the buildings rather than building new ones moving forward?
Okay, master plan. Okay, the master plan for JKR. Okay. First thing first, JKR does not own any asset. Okay, so to make it clear, we do not own any asset. Okay, we help with asset registration, but the asset belongs to the asset owner, which is ministry. So if it's a school, it belongs to KPM. If it's hospital, it belongs to KKM, Ministry of Health. Yeah. So okay, when the asset owner should register the asset. They should have their own plan whether they want to digitize all the asset. Whether they want to upgrade or retrofit the asset, because the cost or the project cost comes from their budget. So maybe we have some sort of planning. We will tell everyone, the ministries, the clients, the public sector at large. We will tell them that what we need, what they need to have maybe to gain some benefit out of implementing AFM. Okay, so it's up to them to actually plan, because every ministry, they will have to plan in the beginning. If you see the cycle, the first one is planning. So that planning involve 5-year plan strategically. So in 5-year plan, they should know what to do in every phase. If they, let's say, want to upgrade the asset, they will have to do it in operation and maintenance. So the cost will be there. They will have some shilling. They will have some allocation for that. So it's really up to every ministry to have their asset, whether they want to upgrade, or they want to demolish, or they want to retrofit or upgrade, and that's how it's done.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Auntie Esmazia. Okay, next question from Muhammad Firdaus bin Ahmad Tajuddin. Is there a single indicator that we can measure the effectiveness for FM services? For example, in factory industry, the common measurement is OEE, overall equipment effectiveness.
Maybe someone can answer that.
Maybe Dr. Tan can answer, or Dr. Eliana.
Right, sure, no problem. When it comes to performance, I think Mr. Firdaus mentioned about overall equipment effectiveness, which I suppose looks into the productivity and how can the equipment performs according to its anticipated performance, right? The answer is perhaps there is not a single indicator that can work into the various services, but there are many indicators that can be used, which should be tailored according to the uniqueness of services. Right. For example, when it comes to performance, there are many tools that can be used. One could be the normal key performance indicators. Number two could be the balance scorecard or BSC, right? You could also use benchmarking to benchmark the performance, and benchmark can be done in similar industry or across different industry. So indicators wise, you can look at the service as well. When you look at service, you're going to look into how the responsiveness, the reliability, the empathy part. In terms of the function, we're going to focus into the elements directly. For example, energy, you're going to look into the energy effectiveness. Water, you're going to look into the water consumption. Electrical, there will be other indicators. So answer, there is no single indicator, but there are various tools, there are various metrics that can be used to measure the performance of it. Yeah,
Okay.
that's answer for me.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Iliana. Okay. Next question from Sun Foon. The question is FM suitable for all type of company to implement now in Malaysia? They will need an extra cost. Maybe Dr. Saha, you want to answer the question?
Okay. Facilities management is a management discipline. The dominance of facilities management about management. So so it can apply in any industry. So what you should understand is to differentiate between the core and the non-core activity in the industry. Examples, if the oil and gas company, so what is the core activity of oil and gas? So the core activity is oil productions, drillings, marketings. So it is a core activity. So the core activity, we need to look from different management perspective, maybe from asset management. So FM, we can look from the non-core activities of oil and gas industry. So also for the water management company. So we need to differentiate either what is the core activity in water management industry. So the core activity may be in producing water treatments is the core. So all the related equipments that indirectly impact the core business. So we need to look from different discipline. It's not FM. It's from the asset management perspective. So FM can implement in water management industry by supporting the non-core activities organization. So in general, facilities management can be practiced in any discipline. What you should understand is your ability to differentiate what is the core business to the industry, what is a non-core business. So facilities management is a very solid concept being developed by the practitioner and also scholars that is managing the non-core business. So if the activity that directly impact to the profit, so we need to look for other discipline that may be suitable to look from the asset management perspective.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Dr. Zaha, for the answer. Next question is from Muhammad Shazwan Arif, Ms. Sulaiman. First, for Ts. Mazia, first question is, explain a little bit on the FM for public school.
Okay. As what Dr. Saha is explaining, FM, we foresee FM as there are many ways people foresee FM. Like what he said earlier, you have 3 tiers of FM, whether it's applied in strategic, technical, or operational. Okay, as of now, public sector is not FM organization. We don't have we don't have anyone in the post of facility management manager in the level of administrator. You see, it's not there. It's not in the level of we call HR. They are not there. So so what we apply now is FM at the level of operational for the time being. Yes. But I did explain about something about value management lab. That is somehow rather what we call what we would like to say that we are in the strategic level. Okay, we've tried to make that clients or the ministries see that how FM using a proper FM, proper they choose the proper, maybe the buildings, proper function, proper spaces. It can help their main, the core business, their core business. Yeah. But as of now, for government itself, FM is in the most of the time is in operational level, and we use that to manage our premises at level premise, premises level. So not in the organization level. So there are many assets. Government has many assets, big and small. Okay, complex and non-complex. So for public school or schools in general, we treated this as non-complex asset. Yeah, it's non-complex. So we don't have any FM contractors managing our school facilities. Yeah, most of the time our outsourcing, FM outsourcing, was only done in government building, mostly the one that needs managing because they are too big. The GFA is more than maybe 30,000 square meter, and it's complex. The client is all the VIPs, the ministries level, HQ. So for public school or the asset that is not complex, we have the solution for that. We have our own facilities management, in-house facilities management approach. We do have our guidelines where we actually tell the ministries or maybe the Jabatan Pendidikan Negeri daerah that or maybe whoever manages the asset, that they can try out and implement the guidelines. Yeah, in that guidelines, it's actually it's almost the same, like the process is almost the same like the contractors has been doing. Only that it's for small scale. We have process. We have put in the process, simpler process, but the guide will help them identify the cost, the budgeting, and how to do the scheduling of their asset. And actually, I would like to also answer Muhammad Firdaus, Cik Muhammad Firdaus, asking about this RCM. So in that guideline, we also have RCM mentioned, yeah, because we use RCM. We wanted to use RCM, reliability centered maintenance, to prioritize our maintenance work. Yeah. So we have for school or any non-complex asset, we use our own guidelines. We call it Garis Panduan Operasi Pengurusan Facility. So that is my answer.
Okay, thank you, T.S. Mazia. Okay, next question is for Dr. Sarah or Dr. Eliana from Muhammad Shazwan Arif bin Sulaiman. The question is, effect on the Industrial Revolution 4.0 to FM or AM, especially on the reducing manpower that will increase unemployment. Dr. Sarah or Dr. Eliana, can you answer the question?
From my perspective, or my view, there's IR 4.0's pillars too. Is important to support the FM service delivery. Usually, the combining of technology and in facilities management will increase the service delivery of facilities management to the customers. So in terms issues on the reducing the manpowers or increasing the unemployment, I don't see any major impact to the FM industry, since the FM industry is quite broad. So we actually, the practitioners, the sectors, the employees can also upskill upskill their knowledge, and to upskill their knowledge on the information technology ke, ataupun in